Hey, Bulls and Bears, it is Friday, August 6th, 2021. Thank you for joining me. Wow, we've got some very important updates here to talk about with the economy, with the financial system, and with prices and the cost of living. Now, this fall and winter, the holiday shopping season is looking to be one of the most expensive ever. We've got more delays in shipping, more supply chain disruptions, and guess what? That's going to equal higher prices for the people looking to do holiday shopping, but not just the holiday shoppers. Higher prices for everyone in general, and the inflation bad enough as far as the rising prices that we've already been seeing. But now add on top of that the additional supply chain disruptions. We're going to talk about those here in this report. All right, we're also going to talk about the markets and a lot more. So let's get into it here. All right, now first, let's start out right here with the markets. And I want to point this out because most of you remember the bragging points of the previous president. And that was the stock market. Hey, everybody, look how great the economy is because the stock market is going up, new all-time highs. Well, if that's supposed to be the gauge of the economy, the current president is actually doing much better. Another new all-time high in the Dow Jones, 35,208. Now, I'm not saying that should be the gauge of the economy. I'm saying the complete opposite. But if you go off of what the previous president said, if you go off the lie that the stock market is the economy, the current president is actually doing better. The markets are rising faster and new all-time highs are being created under the current administration. Now, do I think that's a good thing? No, not necessarily. I think that the gauge of the economy should be the working class and the working class's ability to stay out of debt while still maintaining a good standard of living. But unfortunately, that's the way the system is designed. It's designed to point to the markets and the fake numbers that we're going to talk about here next, the fake unemployment number. The markets were used as the gauge of the economy. So I'm just pointing it out that the current markets are even going up faster. Now, the surge in the Dow Jones is because of the, quote, blowout unemployment number and the jobs number. One of the biggest increases in employment that we've seen now in over a year. Recent report here, the U.S. economy added 943,000 jobs in July, and the unemployment rate dropped to 5.4%. Now, actually, if you look at the weekly unemployment claims, which are about 350,000, we're still losing more jobs than we're adding. But guess what? The unemployment rate still fell because of all the people that they don't count as being unemployed. People that don't qualify for unemployment and people that dropped off of unemployment eligibility. And what we call long-term discouraged workers, people that gave up on looking for work. All right, but here's the thing. A lot of the jobs that were added, as most of you know, are low-paying leisure, hospitality, service sector. Now, here's something that's very important. The jobs added in July, 943,000, even though we're still losing more jobs than are being added, it's still a very good number compared to looking back over a year. But guess what just happened last month? And you guys remember we talked about this. About half of the states in the U.S. eliminated the extra unemployment benefits. And it's in many of those states where we see the lowest unemployment numbers. Just a coincidence? Also, is it just a coincidence that we saw this big job number just a month after about half the states cut off the supplemental unemployment benefit? Maybe, you let me know, but take a look at this chart right here. Now, the states that have the darkest shade here are, most of these states actually kept the enhanced unemployment benefit. We see California, Nevada. We see the darker shade up here in Oregon, Washington. The lighter shade and the ones in the white and the looks like light blue, those are the ones with the lower unemployment rate. All right, so it looks like most of the states, or at least a lot of the states that got rid of those enhanced unemployment benefits are seeing lower unemployment. Again, just a coincidence? You let me know. Look again, Illinois, darker shade there, 7.2% unemployment, above the nationwide rate. All right, now again, it's only been about a month since about half the states cut off those extra unemployment benefits, so it may take more time to tell if that's the real cause of this drop in unemployment rate, one, which we know is really a lot worse than it's being reported, but two, the big jobs numbers with all these new jobs being added, nearly 1 million. Will these jobs be good enough to keep people from going into debt? Likely not. Take a look at this next article. CNBC article. Household debt jumps by the most in 14 years, now $15 trillion. Household debt, consumer debt, credit cards, mortgages, personal loans, car loans. And yes, debt always increases. That's not a real big deal. Well, unless you look back at the financial crisis, debt actually decreased back then because the cost of living came down. But we've been seeing a nonstop increase in debt, but it's not just the increase. The rate at which it's increasing is also accelerating. So of course, more people are going to take on debt. The cost of living's more, home prices are higher, car prices are higher, inflation everywhere. But the rate of the increase in debt is speeding up just like inflation is increasing. All right, so you're going to continue to see surges in prices, the cost of living, and debt because one goes with the other. All right, let's talk about real estate and housing. Does anyone think it's a coincidence that mortgage debt goes up at the same time as that home prices go up? No, it's not. It's not rocket science. More people have to borrow more money to afford a higher priced home, so debt is going to increase. So you have to have never-ending lending out of the banks. That's why the Fed, they have vowed to keep the banks liquefied. No matter how many people default on their mortgages, no matter how many loans go bad, the Fed is going to be there to take the bad debt away from the banks. Therefore, the banks can just lend and lend and lend without any repercussions, without any risk, and without any fear of the loans not being paid back. No matter how broke people are, it doesn't matter. The banks, too big to fail. Most of you know that by now. All right, so a record debt increase, or the most in 14 years at least. In dollar terms, that was the fastest growth since the second quarter of 2007, right before, just a year or so before the financial crisis. So could this go on forever? Technically, yes, because again, they can create unlimited amounts of money out of thin air to pay the banks back, no matter how many loans go bad, no matter how many job losses there are, no matter how bad the wages fail to keep up with the rising cost of living. The banks are always going to be supported and propped up. Remember, banks make more money, and the money printers get more power, more control, the more debt that people are in. The more debt that people are in, the more they're going to ask for actions to be taken by who? The same people that got us into this mess. You guessed it, the money printers. All right, so where does it end? You let me know. Thanks for watching this report, people. Stay well, stay safe, keep stacking. Stay prepared. Bye for now. Peace.